All right. Good afternoon, Kitsap County. How is everyone doing today? It is, well, going on 4 o'clock here in Kitsap County. It is the last day in February. It's cold outside, y'all. Cold. As you heard me say before, the severe weather shelters will be open this evening, but that is not what this particular show is about. I want to bring to you some information that you need to be aware of, some opportunities. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay. So, first one up, we have a grant opportunity that you might want to take advantage of. Shout out to Christina Rourke and who else sent this to me? Tony Ives at KCR. They sent me this link here uh, for this grant opportunity here. And so this is a micro grant opportunity. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead to Verity Credit Union. And I went ahead and I put that in the description. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat here so you have it really quick here. Bam. So that is there for you. Okay. Also, I probably ought to let some folks know because there are a lot of people that only view us on whoops. And so because of that, they miss out. So as I say, please subscribe, like, and share. It is definitely in your best interest. So you never, 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 never miss out on any of our shows, especially big ones like this. You want to know about the money and opportunities as such. So let's go ahead and get into that. I'm just go ahead and post that on there. Of course, we are on Facebook, on the Gather Together, Grow Together webpage, or on Facebook page, and also the Conduit has its own Facebook page also. So you can get information there as well. Okay. Them type grants and jobs. You can do that in both places and get information and stay tuned. However, there's so many different platforms. The big one is we always broadcast on YouTube. And so you'll never miss anything if you're there. So I definitely would encourage you to do that. Okay. Go ahead and do that and put, let's see, grants and let me spell grants correctly. Grants and jobs. All right. Now that I have posted that on the Facebook pages there, let me get back into this. Okay. So as I said, shout out to Christina Rourke and Tony Ives for sending me this grant opportunity that I'm going to share with you now. So this is through Verity Credit Union. And the link that I was sent me here. And so I had to do a little bit of searching. Okay. And so I just went in here to this search and I typed in Microgrant. You can see I already typed that in there. And that pulled me here. And then I just typed on this here. So it's always good to take a look at this. The first one is the one we're going to be looking at here, which is the Microgrant program. However, you can see some things like community impact. Always good to take a look because you never know what else may be in here that may be of benefit to you. So I will go ahead and put the direct link in here so that you have it as such. So that'll take you right there where you don't have to search for it. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you. All right. And now that we're there, Verity Credit Union Microgrant Program is designed to provide unrestricted. This is the best type of grant, guys. Okay. And it's the best kind of grant because you get to use the money any way you want. Monetary support for organizations whose work benefits historically underserved communities within Washington state. Well, I know 50 or 60 at least agencies here that could definitely be eligible for that based on that sentence. We aim to support organizations that may have limited access to traditional funding due to organizational size, age, or tax exempt status. We strive to uplift and empower those doing the work in the communities. As such, the microgrant prioritizes organizations with total asset sizes less than 250,000. Verity Credit Union mission centers the value of people, planet, and prosperity. We eagerly hope to support organizations whose work centers social, economic, and environmental justice and well-being. Okay, so we're unfortunately ineligible to apply for this grant because we're not smaller than 250,000. The deadline for spring 2023 is March 15th, so you got 2 weeks. Applications received after this date will be considered during spring of 2023. We welcome all nonprofit applications, and some examples of what the grant can be used for is rent, utility costs or organizational facilities, staff, stipends, and salaries, improvement to operations such as new technology or software, research and development to create new or improve pre-existing programs. So let's go ahead and download the application because I always like to go over this with folks because this can be very scary. I talk to a lot of people and they're like, "Oh, this is so scary." Okay, let me go back in there. Somehow it kicked me back in there. All right, do that again. I wanted to enlarge this. All right. Let me go ahead and make that bigger. Okay. And now that we're in here, so here it is. Okay. Verity Credit Union's microgrant is designed to provide 2,500 in general operating support for organizations who work benefits historically underserved communities within Washington State. That's us right here. Verity Credit Union aims to support organizations that may have limited access to traditional funding due to organizational size, age, or tax exempt status, right? So it doesn't even matter. We strive to uplift and empower those doing the work for our community. Our grant is designed to prioritize the following organizations: orgs with less than 250,000, orgs who explicitly support BIPOC communities, orgs founded and led by members of historically marginalized communities, and or those in marginalized lived experiences, excuse me, and organizations whose work furthers social justice, environmental justice, equity, and or financial wellness for all. For more information, you can visit www.veritycu.com/microgrant, or you can even email their community relations at veritycu.com. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat for you as well. Okay. I'll pop that on there just for a second there. Okay. Now, here is the application. I'm just going to scroll down. This is a 6-page document. So, like if we were going to fill this out here, gather, together, grow together. All right. DBA means doing business as, so this would be an alternative name if you had that. Our website is www.g2g2.org. We are a 501c3. Our EN number is, oh, I never have that memorized. It's something like that. Dot dot dot. I don't remember the rest. I'll have to look. We do not have a fiscal sponsor. If you did, like let's say you were just starting out and hey, maybe G2 was your fiscal sponsor, or maybe the United Way or KCR, like that, right? They would be your fiscal sponsor and you would put in their EIN number, which they would have and could provide to you. They would want to know what your total asset size is, okay, of your organization. And this allows Verity Union to prioritize small or less funded organizations, right? Please write a description of your organization, including who your organization serves and where your work takes place, okay? So G2, right? And I don't want to write this over and over again. You don't want to see me write this 1,000 times. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. And I'll do this. Boom. AKA G2 strives for self sufficiency for all residents of Kitsap County. Do that in several ways. One, transportation. P2 provides transportation at a fraction of the cost of ride shares, taxis. We uh, operate 365, 24/7. You write that? It's awkward. I'll fix that. We operate 365, 427, 24/7 to help our residents complete get to where they need to go. Mental health, health, employment, um, court requirements, airports, um, designated, or let's say rides home after the bar. Okay. Oh, let's see. I left out a few, right? What do we call that? Da, 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 da. I was gonna go this deep into it just now, but let's see. We do custody, rotation for parents, and etc. We believe time is the most valuable resource. County is spread out, and transportation is one of our biggest challenges, which is supported by our recent community needs assessment. Right? Two, food program. G2 provides meals to people who are experiencing food insecurity. We host cake breakfasts to educate and inform community, neighborhood cues, Bring these together. We do the OSPI food program to feed. Sorry about that being at the bottom there. School aged children during the summer and any other um, food related programming. Usually they'll tell you you've got so much space, right? So sometimes this is 500 words, sometimes it's 200 or 2,000 words. Sometimes they just let you just do whatever, right? Job readiness program through G2 construction conduit podcast sessions, office work, food work, and other opportunities. G2 is able to track and help people uh, build soft skills and hard skills needed in work environments. Two also is an approved site for community service. A. G2 construction. To construction during the pandemic, providing all manner of services, commercial roofing, apartment complexes, it, turnover, landscaping. We also do case management. B2 carries, say, provides case management for individuals and families to help. I'm gonna put a colon here so I can just list these things. You definitely would want someone to proofread this, right? Make sure it's all good. I'm just doing this just off the top of my head here, just so you can get an example, right? G2 provides case management for individuals and families to help colon with employment, e.g. resume, cover letter, basic skills. Also have So provide a computer lab with computers. Um, resource information and access utility education advertisement. TC. And then lastly, and you probably didn't know G2 did all this, right? The Conduit podcast. All right. And now this is getting pretty small there. I apologize, right? Normally you would have run out of spaces, right? I have applied for grants that have been for, more than $1 million that did not have I think they were like some were 1,000 characters, in a particular box. And so you have to be succinct, but you really have to get your point across. So you've got to take your time. Do not procrastinate on things like that. However, this is a micro grant. You still want to put your best foot forward. And one of the things that I would definitely recommend for people is you should be, as you fill this out, right? I would copy and paste this. Okay. So I would copy this. I'd go over here and I'd say file new document. And I would call this grant information. Okay. And when these questions come up, then I would already have these things, right? So then I can just pull that information up and I wouldn't have to worry about trying to recreate it. That will help you get through it faster and faster and faster, right? And unfortunately, sometimes like this, you only have 2 weeks. You may already have other things that you have that you need to get done. So making sure that you have some of these things already set, gather together, grow together, which really allows you just to copy and paste, right? That tax identification number, those things are there in one central location so you have it, right? www.g2g2.org. Maybe you have videos that you want to be able to share, right? You want to have those links already ready to go, right? Because that shows your work. Be the number 2g2.org, right? So all of those different things. Sometimes they want your organizational chart for larger grants, so you can have those things already set, right? So you can think about those different things. You already have that in a document, and now when it's time for you to go ahead and do that, it's already set it and forget it. So the Conduit podcast is a podcast that is designed to tie, oops, which is to teach, form, and elevate or educate, right? We cover uh, everything from city council meetings, school board meetings, social justice events, community events, uh, opportunities all with purpose to connect people and elevate those whose voices and issues are heard. Okay. So more the also the conduit does a training program and consultation for youth and organizations. All right. So, how does your organization work to support furthering social justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion? Well, this one would be one of the main ones right here. So, take time because I still need to cover the employment opportunity, which is really big. I'm just going to pop that in there, right? Now, typically, if you're a small organization, you probably already have a statement like this already written up. One of the things you can do is if you want it to really have some oomph to it, do your write up and then take it to who you trust in the community, right? Whether it's maybe a Create Vargas or one of these other organizations that does this type of work that really excels, right? Or an individual that is in this position. And if they have the time, they may be able to say, hey, Jessica Guidry or Lucretia Robinson from Kitsap Regional Library can say, hey, you know what? If this is the work you're doing, these are some of the things that we'd want to see you doing in regards to social justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they might be able to craft that, right? And maybe, point out some blind spots if you're not really doing those things, or you could be doing those things a little bit more effectively, right? Here, your primary contact, right? In this scenario, this would be me. My title, uh-huh, director. Everybody knows my email, right? If you don't know my as a person, I prefer to be emailed, text. Text me. Take me a while to get back to you. I'm so sorry. It is what it is. All right. Authorized signer, right? So for us, that would be our secretary. Okay. And then the phone number and email gather to grow at G the number two, G the number two.org and email. Organization identification survey. Now, this is optional. Why are they asking for this information? In an effort to be intentional with funding, we are asking potential grant recipients to self-identify their lived experiences and identities. This information will be used in decision making to guarantee that priority is given to organizations led by representatives of the communities benefiting from the grant. This information will also be saved to track where our grants are being used to identify where we could be doing better. If you have any questions, concerns, or feedback about the current demographic and collection process, please email community relations at veritycu.com. So here, I actually would have some questions here, right? And here's the reason why. Many grants ask for this information, and some don't say that this is optional. But if they're saying this is optional, right? Hey, you don't need this. But then in the next line, they're saying, hey, we're going to make our decision based on this. Then is it really optional? So that might be one where I would reach out if you felt some kind of way about providing this information. But typically with grants that are targeting doing work with either the BIPOC community or other marginalized communities, whatever they may be, those that are experiencing homelessness or whatever, right? They may ask, hey, is your staff actually made up of this, right? What's the percent of your leadership team or your board that's BIPOC, right? And how do they identify? Okay. So here I would actually want to change this because many of you know that I do not identify as Black or African American. I actually identify as FBA. They don't have that on there. Okay. So again, if I was applying for this grant, I would fill this out. Because if I not, it is very likely that we probably would not get this, right? Now, prefer to self-describe. Please describe in the space below. Again, they're using this information because they want to make sure they are either hitting where they're trying to hit, which is what it was BIPOC, right? So that should be everyone in there. But then they can drill down and see, are they hitting, mostly females or mostly folks that are non-binary or whatever the case may be. They can look at their sexuality and say, hey, is it the LGBTQ community or is it mainly straight people that are getting this? What uh, is this targeted at? And then current or former lived experience, displaced, climate, gentrification, other experiences, homelessness, incarcerated, criminalized, or immigration, right? And so here they want to know leadership team, your core team. That could just be you, right? You could be a very small organization. So you'd say total number one. If there's additional staff, then you could put that down. Okay. And then your board of directors, right? How many people are on my board right now? I think 6. Is it 6? I don't even remember. All right. So however many. Foster care. Now what's interesting is, oh man, I don't think I got climate. I've been displaced for another reason. Definitely been homeless. Definitely been incarcerated. Definitely foster care. Definitely experienced poverty. Definitely a survivor. Wow. Okay. Boy, I was able to check quite a few of those. Is there any additional information that you'd like to share about the identities and lived experience of your organization and leadership? Okay. Our board is comprised of people who have several of lived experiences listed above. Board also constituted. You don't need to use words like this. I am just doing it because that's me. As a working board where all members are expected to participate in the day-to-day activities. Yada, 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 if you needed to. Please include with the application your organization's most recent tax filing, if applicable, right? So maybe you just started and you don't have taxes, then you would not apply. You wouldn't attach those. But if you did, okay, you may also choose to include any additional materials as desired, documents, photographs, written narratives, etc., to provide better context of your organization projects that can impact your work. Sometimes people might have a hard time seeing exactly what it is that you do here, right? Translate very effectively. However, anecdotal stories and testimonials, those things can be really impactful. A video of an event that you took part in or you created or hosted, all those things can go a long way with bolstering, what it is that you do as a organization. Hold one quick. Hey, Tammy. Oh, I will be there in 7 minutes. All right. Thank you. All right. I'm live, but I'm supposed to be downtown. So I'm going to have to end this because I need to be at the strategic planning meeting. I didn't know that was my time, but I was locked out of my email. No excuses, right? We don't make excuses. Get it done. All right. So that is the grant opportunity. So let me go ahead and close out of that. And now let me go ahead and show you the job opportunity. And this was sent to me from Kitsap County's own Doug Washburn. So shout out to him for that. And this is a case manager recovery navigator program opportunity, program supervisor. Now, this job $78,499.20 to $100,484.84 annually. Okay. So this is a nice chunk of change here. All right. So $74,000 case manager recovery navigator program supervisor with the $5,000 signing incentive. Okay. The Salish Behavioral Health Administrative, we enlarge that so we can see it better. Services Organization Division of the Human Services has an exciting opportunity for care manager, recovery navigator, program supervisor to join our team. Our new team member will perform advanced level professional human service planning to assist with the administration of regional behavioral health programming across a 3-county region, Qualam, Jefferson, and Kitsap. This team member will be responsible for the administration of the Recovery Navigator program within the Salish region. The Recovery Navigator program, via 5 subcontract teams, provide in a field of outreach and case management to individuals with substance use or co-occurring needs and may have frequent law enforcement contacts. The program is driven by harm reduction, trauma-informed, and culturally inclusive principles. This team member's duties will also include ensuring the quality of behavioral health services within our community by coordinating with individuals with behavioral health needs, treatment providers, facilities, and participating in statewide planning initiatives, assisting with behavioral health systems coordination, serving as a liaison for provider agencies and subcontractors by providing technical assistance, clinical consultation, and assisting in development and implementation of new behavioral health programming. The successful candidate will have knowledge of Washington State behavioral health regulations and behavioral health diagnosis, treatment techniques, and practices. Must have experience with program development and implementation to include monitoring grant requirements, sector compliance, and the ability to administer plans based on identified community priorities. The SASO was formed through an interlocal agreement between Kitsap, Jefferson, and Qualam counties. This consortium of counties provides planning, contracting, and administration for the regional crisis system and limited behavioral health programs and low-income, uninsured individuals in the 3-county region. Kitsap County serves as the administrative entity for SBH ASO. The SBH ASO of the Human Service Department administers an annual operating budget in excess of $17 million, including state funding, federal grants, and Apple Health Medicaid. Okay, so this was effective May 19 of 2022. New hires are eligible for the incentive, which is the $5,000 bonus. They're looking for a bachelor's degree in social science, 4 years of program-related experience, a year of lead supervisory experience, any equivalent or combination of experience, preferred education experience or qualifications, a master's degree in one of the social sciences, criminal criminal conviction standards. The successful incumbent will or may have unsupervised access to children under 18, a vulnerable adult, a vulnerable person, or access to secure confidential facility computer systems. As a result, Gitsney will be conducting an extensive criminal background check by law enforcement agencies, which may include fingerprinting. Please review the following list of disqualifying crimes and negative actions to determine if you meet our standard positions. You can click there as a link. Physical requirements. The duties require you to do office setting, utilizing standard office equipment. Travel will be required. Some of your duties: ensure the quality of service provided and behavioral health consumers, act as a clinical treatment on. So there's a lot here that you can read. Who may apply? This is open to general public. Okay. Now, one of the reasons why I'm very thankful that Doug Washburn sent this to me, and a big reason why these, high paying jobs come up historically has happened is, you don't see many Black folks in positions like this, right? And so when you talk to the hiring manager and, what did you do? How come you couldn't find anyone? Oftentimes they didn't even interview anyone. They say, well, we couldn't find anyone that was qualified, right? And so we hear that a lot. And I'm appreciative for him sending this out because this helps us to disseminate it out so that you can share it out. And hopefully people who are qualified can go ahead and put their bid in if this is a good fit for them, right? And then the organization of the county and that person can see if they're a good fit for each other, right? So I'm thankful that they are sharing this information. So again, list of duties here. This looks like a very awesome opportunity right here in Kitsap County. The starting salary is basically, 78.5, and it tops out at 100,000. Okay. Of course, when benefits, when you start seeing a list like this, it's fantastic. Even transportation incentives. And then here are some questions that they're going to ask you. So if you've never applied for, I'd say larger kind of career positions, not only are you going to complete an application and a letter and a resume, but you're also going to answer some other questions too, right? How do you best meet minimum qualifications for this position? I would say, hey, I have a master's degree in social sciences or closely related field and 4 years of program related experience and 1 year lead experience, right? So I would probably answer that this way. What is your current licensure? I don't have any of those. Describe your behavioral health. So these are things that you would go through. Sometimes you'll see things like that will ask you about diversity, equity, inclusion. Some might ask you to talk about how you resolved issue, things like that. Some things that you might have actually talked about in an actual interview, right? Tell us about a time when you've had a situation and you had navigated. What did you do and what was the outcome? Things like that. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I am late and I need to get to where I'm supposed to be responsible. But I did want to share these two opportunities for you, the microgrant and this employment opportunity. If you do have more, please send them to me because I will go ahead and broadcast that out. All right. What I will tell you is that the Kitsap Regional Library will have their board meeting about 45 minutes. So I'll see you on TV again here real shortly.